Thank you so much, Bill, and thank you, Jerry. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Orange County. How you doing today? It's so nice to have you. Everyone who just came in, welcome on in. You're welcome to saunter in and grab a seat. Guys, I'm going to invite you in a second to stand, and when I do, I'm going to also invite you, if you are comfortable with spacing, to squish together. Because it's lovely that you're over there, but I can barely see you. But it's okay if you want to stay separated, totally fine, safe distance, all that. But all right, guys, we are going to get things going, as we all like to do, by some singing, get our vibration going with the universe. I want you to sing and think about what you're singing as we sing together. I release and I let go. Please rise and join me in song. Here we go. There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, you guys are in great voice today. I love to hear it. You may be seated, and please let's welcome our friend Tina to the platform.
Good morning, everybody. So nice to see you here today. Unofficial first day of summer. Really? If you are new to Southern California, the sun doesn't come out until July 5. Seriously, wait until you see it. And then it's so hot, you're wishing it was today. Boy, we're crazy, aren't we? Well, welcome to Unity of Orange County. It's so nice to have you here today. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. We always like to start our service with our prayer for our church and our vision and mission statements. So together, let's say our prayer, and then we'll go to vision and mission statement. So together, we pray, believe, and affirm continued growth and prosperity for Unity of Orange County, with an abundance to spare and share. With grateful hearts, we give thanks for answered prayer. And so it is. And our vision statement, centered in divine love, we joyfully co-create a world that works for all. And our mission statements, to awaken, inspire, and transform lives. Yes, absolutely. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank those that helped make this service possible. So our music team, yes, we have Bill on keyboard, we have Jerry on drums, we have Tom on vocals. Boy, you guys get us going in the morning. We so appreciate you very, very much. And then we have Mark on camera. Thank you, Mark. And Waverly and John are streaming. Today, Annette and Jean were our Unity greeters, and they are always so pleasant and so greeting everybody coming in. And today we have, as our fellowship, hospitality, we have Sandy and we have Rosemarie and Jim also. So we had a 3 today. So we are really lucky, some real yummies in the hospitality room. Stephanie will be doing our fellowship today. Yay. Not fellowship, I'm sorry. She's reading our daily word and guiding us in our meditation. So thank you very much. We do have a few announcements. So this coming Saturday, we are going to have our first workshop, which is going to be presencing, here it is, presencing in times of change. So as you know, our church is really going through a lot of changes right now with Reverend Arlene retiring. And so then we come in and our whole sanctuary is changed. And I mean, you know, it's always changing. So this workshop is really going to help us get through the transition. And we will be breaking out in small groups, and so that we can each one discuss what is going on, how are we feeling, and what are we going to be doing going forward. So this is your opportunity to sit and talk amongst yourselves and with us, the people on the board. And it will be from 9:30 to 2:30, and it will be here. And we are going to serve lunch. So if we feed them, they will come. We hope you are going to be there. This is really important. Reverend Charlie Tupper will be here this coming weekend, and she is facilitating the workshop. So that's going to be a very good one. Also, another workshop that's coming up, it's not really a workshop, it's going to be from June 7th through July 19th. Reverend Tupper will be facilitating a prosperity workshop, and this will be on Zoom, and it's really great. This 7-week Zoom online class will awaken dormant truths within you that will manifest and demonstrate genuine prosperity. And this is a class that is designed to transform your understanding of who you are and the spiritual potential that lies within. So if there is any area of your life that you think is lacking, this class is for you. Because remember, prosperity isn't just money orientated. It's prosperity. It's a lot of things in your life. So please join us for that. Again, that starts June 7th on Zoom. Registration does begin, is ongoing now, and these flyers you can find in the fellowship room, or I believe the greeters were handing them out as well. So thank you for that. Okay, we also have, starting Sunday, June the 11th, we are going to have Sunday Circles of Connection on the 2nd and 4th Sundays of the month. And these will be held in the sanctuary from 11:30 to 12. And the aim is to foster a spirit of connection and community through discussing key components of the Sunday message. So a lot of times, don't you leave thinking, oh gosh, I wish, did she or he really mean what? So this way, you can come in, sit down, and the person who's going to be giving the message that day will be answering your questions. It'll be a great discussion. It'll be a continuation of what was discussed that day. So that starts at 11:30, and that should be a really great thing. If you have any further questions, ask Diane or Howard, and they're in the back there, and they can help you if you have any further questions. But I'm really excited about that, and that's a really good thing. Okay, we have some great things going on. Also, we have choir rehearsals. Yes, we will be singing July the 2nd, and our rehearsals start June 11th, 18th, and 25. Excuse me. And if you are interested, please see. They'll be at 12? It will be at 12. So just be here, and we'll put you into work here. So anyway, that's going to be fun. We just love our choir, and we just appreciate you giving us time, and it's really a fun thing. Okay. All right. So on a sad note, one of our congregants, Tim Walker, made his transition on May the 23rd. And we are so sad to have to announce this, but he was such a gentle soul, kind, loving, and he loved our church so much. And Mary, his loving wife, who was by his side all the time. He had about 3 years, he suffered with cancer and Alzheimer's. And so he is going to have a celebration of life. Will be celebrated on Saturday the 3rd. And the flyers, you can find these in the back also. And if you have any questions, please feel free to talk to Mary. She'll be helping you out. Okay. And then finally, we have Amy, and with her clipboard. And I want Amy to come up here a second. Amy is an awesome, awesome volunteer. She volunteers her time putting all of our volunteers together and make sure that we have people here to help us out. And you don't see Amy because she's just busy, but always finds time with us all the time. And we so appreciate you. You've been with our church how many years now? 15 years. And for the past 8 years, she has been helping us all the time. So thank you, Amy. Thank you so much.
That's so
We
sweet.
appreciate you very much.
I get more back from it than I give, so thank you all.
Well, she is looking for volunteers, so please see Amy. It's important that we have all of our Sunday angels, and she's the biggest angel of all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina. And I want to ditto that. We used to have trouble with volunteers and coordinating volunteers a long time ago when I first started. And ever since Amy took over, we've not had a problem with volunteers. Amy might have had a problem with volunteers, but she's made it feel seamless. So that's a credit to you. So today we're talking about change, but we also want to acknowledge that tomorrow's Memorial Day. And besides being the unofficial start of summer and also a barbecue day, obviously we're honoring people who have died in the service of this country or making countries free. So to that end, there's a song I want to do today that is coming from the perspective of someone who's been in a conflict or who's been through that conflict, maybe didn't make it through that conflict. The song's a little heavy, so I want to warn you in advance. There's a lot of space in this song for reflection, and I think it's just a beautiful testimonial about, a beautiful but simple testimonial about war and why maybe we shouldn't be doing it. These mist-covered mountains are a home now for me. My home is the lowlands and always will be. Someday you'll return to your valleys and your farms, and you'll no longer burn to be brothers in arms. Through these fields of destruction, baptisms of fire, I've witnessed your suffering as the battle raged high. And though they did hurt me so bad, through the fear and alarm, you did not desert me, my brothers in arms. So many different worlds, so many different suns, but we have just one world, but we live in different ones. Though the sun's gone to hell and the moon riding high, every bid you farewell, everyone has to die. But it's written in the starlight, every line on your palm. We're fools to make war on our brothers in arms. Thank you guys so much. That's actually a Dire Straits song, if you've never heard it before. I've heard a bunch of covers of it, and it's just something about that song paints a picture, and I love to sing that one. And thank you guys for giving me that space. All right, we are going to get comfortable in our chairs, feet flat on the floor, if that's okay for your body. We're going to get ready for the daily word and meditation. We're going to do that by becoming mindful, and we're going to be singing together, blessing to the world. I want you to hear the words and think about them as you're singing them with me. First one's for you. Here we go. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth. And who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. Now, having heard it, take it inside for yourself. Know the I am. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth. And who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. Now expand to include everyone. We are. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth. And who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world, a blessing to the world. I'd like to invite Stephanie to the platform.
I only need this when I'm stepping up. So it's just a process here. Oh gosh, you guys, you look so good. I know I say that to you all the time, but it is really, really true. I am so glad to look out here and see your faces. You just can't know how happy that makes me. Okay, so today's daily word is comfort. Loving memories comfort me. Today, Sunday, May 28th, 2023. There may be days or even weeks on the calendar when I feel myself mysteriously feeling blue or melancholy, only to realize the anniversary of someone or something I have loved and lost is approaching. Even when I don't realize it outright, a part of me remembers and responds. I can honor these feelings as a way to honor the people and the places that have taught me and helped me evolve. Welcoming my feelings brings deep and abiding comfort. I carry those people and the places I love with me in the things I do, keeping their spirit alive. Gradually, I find smiles within the sadness. Revisiting treasured memories reveals the love within the loss. The presence of God is found within the gift of each moment, and I find comfort through my grateful heart. And the Bible verse is from Psalms 119:76. Let your steadfast love become my comfort according to your promise to your servant. So now I'm going to invite the prayer box to come forward, and we're going to sing our thoughts or prayers.
Join me, please. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
Oh, thank you, Mother, Father, God, for answered prayers. We know that all the prayers that are in this box and that are in our hearts, and even those who have not yet come up for praying, we know that you hear them and you answer them. And so gratefully we send these out, knowing that they are in your hands, answered, and already cared for. And so we pray, Amen. So I thought I would spend just a second today talking about our cornerstone, which is prayer and meditation and meditating. And I thought I would give you some tools to meditate during the week with. And we're going to do that with a meditation. And you know, you can meditate in different ways. Sometimes you can meditate by sweeping. If your monkey mind is going and you cannot stop it, sweep, dance, do something so your body is moving and your monkey mind is thinking about what you're physically doing. And then the God mind, your higher self, can speak because the other self is busy. So that's one thing you can do if you can't get yourself to silence out. But if you can sit still, I find that meditation with visualization is very helpful. You know, sometimes I can come up, I have a mantra, and I will use that. And that's something that you say until it doesn't matter anymore, till it's not what you're thinking about. It keeps your monkey mind busy while God mind is being able to talk to you. But sometimes, and what we do here is a kind of meditation, and I want you to take it with you, because today's word is comfort. And I want you to know that that comfort is God's comfort for you, and it is with you all the time. And it's just your opportunity to find it. So I want you to realize that your left hand is the hand that you receive with. That's why when we hold hands, we hold our left hand up. And your right hand is the one you send with. This is your yin side, this is your yang side. So this is where you send, this is where you receive. So I want you to plant your feet as flat on the floor as you can, as I want you to connect with Mother Earth and ground, and know that all the ancestors that you have ever had, all the selves you've ever been, everyone and everyone that has ever loved you, and not here anymore, is there within the earth, because all things return to the earth. And you are being supported and grounded by that energy. So use it to hold yourself here. Gravity's a good thing. And then I want you to put your left hand out and your right hand over your heart. Roll your shoulders back and take a deep, deep cleansing breath. And know that God is moving in and through you with every breath you take. So with your eyes closed, if you can, imagine that golden pink light that I tell you about, which is God's love, God's light, is flowing directly into your left hand, into your body, and into your heart through your right hand. And then as if it is just expanding, 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 it's going to fill you up and shine out of you so that this room is filled with God's love. So in through your hand, breathing in, filling your heart, and now expanding out to everyone here, so that not only are you comforted by God's love, you are a comfort to others. So let's do that for a little bit. Breathing in. Imagine yourself filling with God's love. And then allow your right hand to extend out from your heart. Imagine yourself just spilling God's love. Breathing in the love of God. Breathing out the comfort of God. Take a few minutes to imagine that happening. In your imagination, imagine us filling this room with God's love, God's peace, and the comfort of God. And even the laughter of God. Gently, gently, gently. Come back. As you go through this week, no matter what's happening, no matter what challenges you might have, take a minute to receive God's love, to consciously ask, God, enter here. And know that you are a vessel too. God breathes through you, and when you breathe in, you take it in, and when you breathe out, you send it out. So walk around this week and just know that you're little God's hands and feet. And be happy this week. Seek comfort. Be at peace. And know that you are loved beyond measure. Amen, Aho. And so it is.
Change can come on tiptoe. Love is where it starts. It resides, often hides, deep within our hearts. And just as pebbles make a mountain, raindrops make a sea, one day at a time, change begins with you and me. Ordinary miracles happen all around, just by giving and receiving comes belonging and believing. Every sun that rises never rose before. Each new day leads the way through a different door, and we can all be quiet heroes, living quiet days, walking through the world, changing it in quiet ways. Ordinary miracles, like candles in the dark, each and every one of us lights a spark. And the walls can tumble, and the mountains can move, the wind and the tides can turn. Ordinary miracles, one for every star, no lightning bolt and clap of thunder, only joy and quiet wonder. Endless possibilities right before our eyes. See the way a miracle multiplies. Hope can spring eternally, planted and it grows. Love is all that's necessary, love in its extraordinary ways makes ordinary miracles every blessed day.
Thank you, Bill. You know, as a minister, I just send out my topic to the powers that be and say, go with it. So I never really know sometimes what the music's going to be, and that's one of my favorite songs, so thank you. And obviously, right on point. And wait until after the service, because you're going to be like blown away by the song we're doing after the service, or after my talk, not after the service. So, welcome everybody. So, I'd like to begin, as Tom alluded to, mentioning and acknowledging that it is Memorial Day weekend and that we should honor that. And just take a few moments to honor those fallen heroes. So as we know, or most of us know, Memorial Day is a U.S. national holiday where we set aside a little time to remember with gratitude and pride all of those who served our country and died for our country and for our freedoms. And I think that's really what it's all about. It's for our freedoms. And that was both during deployments overseas or in training here in the United States. So we want to acknowledge that that does happen here on our own soil as well. And the holiday did originate back in the American Civil War, where people used to place flowers on the graves of the fallen heroes, and those specifically who had been killed in battle. And it just really offers us a chance then, besides the barbecues and the 3-day weekend and the getting together, it gives us a chance to reflect on those countless individuals who served for us, lost their lives. And so it gives us a chance to come together as a community, as families. And, we're the ones left behind. We're the ones that have to deal with the loss. So it gives us that moment of thought and that prayer. So I did find a prayer that I would like to share with you. And after the prayer, then I'm going to just allow for a moment of inner silence and an opportunity for you to go within. So the poem, it did not have an author, but it's called, and it doesn't even have a title, but here it is. Eternal God, from whom all life comes and to whom all life returns. We remember all of those who served our country in the military. We remember and we give thanks for the sacrifices and the devotions, for the life, the faith, and the love in each of those. We remember and we pray for those who bear wounds, those who gave and provide care for our veterans, those who grieve for the loved ones who have died. May the days soon come when swords are beaten into plowshares, when war is no more, and when your peace will be known through all the world. Amen. So to all the armed forces, men and women, we say thank you for your service. And we're going to pause a moment just to remember those who have given their lives for our country. And now, on to the topic of the day, which is change your view, change your life. And interestingly enough, again, I had coordinated with Tom about a song for Memorial Day, but if you recall, some of the words were mountains, valleys. You're going to be hearing some about that in my talk. Again, I love the synchronicity of the universe. It's so amazing. So, I know we've all heard change your thinking, change your life. If you are a new thought person, you have heard that probably multiple times. But I'm going to flip the script a little bit this morning and to change it to change your view, change your life. As in change what you're looking at and see how that can affect us on a personal level. So we'll see how changing not only our point of view, but our actual view can change the world. And in our Circle of Connection book discussion that we just finished up, we were studying The Art of Abundance by Dennis Merritt Jones. And the little subtitle of that book is 10 Rules for a Prosperous Life. So a consistent question that coming up to, in the group, we have your discussion time, and because I happen to be a minister in the group, they're like, but Reverend Allison, why don't more people, understand these laws, and why don't more people live them and utilize them in their lives? So my answer consistently was, that although they may want to have those rewards of their life and this abundant, wonderful life that we are allowed to live, they are simply not willing to do the work. The work that will raise their consciousness to that level in which they understand that they are not only worthy to receive the good that is out there, but also it is simply theirs because they are a child of the divine. So they don't have to earn it. They just have to open themselves up to it. So to illustrate this idea of changing our view, I would like to read a little story from The Art of Being, which coincidentally is also by Dennis Merritt Jones, so I'm giving him a big plug today. And I'm going to go ahead and read that from the book itself, and it's just a little story. So there once was a large group of travelers who were seeking to enhance their view in the country in which they lived. They wished to know all of it more fully, and the distant mountains called to them, silently promising a view from afar that would change their lives forever. They set out with excitement and they went down the 4-lane highway in their motorhomes. Okay? They were heading towards the mountains. As they reached the foothills, their freeway became more narrow, and it turned into a dirt road. So they followed it until they could no longer go in their comfortable motorhomes down the dirt road. So they set up camp. Yet there were a few of those who wanted to go a little higher, and knowing that the view would be better if they just did so. So they hopped into their 4-wheel drive SUVs. And soon enough, they too could go no farther, because now the road was a path, and it became more and more steep and more narrow. But at least they could look back and see their friends down below and wave hi. Then those who were there at that moment set up camp. But there was still a few, and they had trail bikes. So they decided that they yearned for that greater view, and they wanted to see a higher view. So they got on their trail bikes and they rode until they could go no further. And then they shouted and waved to the people below, the friends below that had settled onto the limited view aspects of their journey, which was very nice. But there was still something missing. Finally, one last traveler knew that if he could just hike that extremely narrow path and eventually climb the rocks to the top of the mountain, that last mile, that his view would be unparalleled and magnificent. And so too would be his reward. So as he reached the top of the mountain and he surveyed the entire country below, he felt for his friends, who by their own limited efforts had settled for less and would never know the awesome view he had attained through his persistence and commitment. Then a deep inner peace washed over him. It was a peace he had never known. And of course, instantly his life was transformed. And he lived happily ever after in eternal bliss. So I have a couple questions for you to ponder about that story. Do you consider yourself to be on a spiritual quest? And if so, are you going as far up the mountain as your consciousness says you'd like to go? If you're getting that far, what mode of transportation are you taking on this journey? Are you in your motorhome? Are you in your SUV? Or are you on your trail bike? Or are you walking on your own path of self-discovery? And here's the reason I ask all these wonderful questions. The spiritual path may grow narrower and the further we go up the mountain, because it's our consciousness that is evolving. And as we get into that higher level of consciousness, we will see that it may become more challenging to stay evolved on your path that you're on currently. Many people, they desire to witness the view from the top of the mountain and attain those rewards that they can get when they get to the top. That inner peace, that transformation that takes place. Yet, few are willing to leave their motorhome consciousness behind. But if we only practice spirituality at the level of the motorhome stage, we settle for convenience instead of developing the discipline that we need to move forward in our lives. And if we see that we're exerting too much effort to build our level of consciousness, we have this tendency then to set up camp in the flatlands or the valleys. So I had an analogy that if we compare our spiritual journey to a freeway, and since we're in the OC, that shouldn't be too hard to do, freeways everywhere, we see that, freeways have many lanes. They accommodate hordes of people. Trust me, I was driving in it yesterday. They accommodate hordes and hordes of people. And these hordes of people are looking for their spiritual path. However, as we begin personally to evolve on that spirituality path, we see that the road then narrows a little bit, and that we have fewer traveling companions along the way. But it requires a deep dedication and a willingness to explore the unknown, which sometimes can be a little scary. But New Thought teachings, they're a lot like that opportunity. In fact, it's one of the things that draws me to it, and has kept me here is because it encourages us to seek a higher level of consciousness, to leave behind that which no longer serves us. So the reward then for climbing higher and taking the risk, the reward is that we get to observe things through God's eyes. The journey takes you into your own God consciousness. It clearly isn't always easy to practice at this level of spirituality. Or you know what? Everybody would be walking around with this blissful smile on their face. They'd be deeply sincere to everybody, and their sense of wholeness would be so strong that they would just exude it with the inner peace, and they could only come to that divine place. The place in this case, of course, that we're talking about is the top of the mountain within. So wouldn't that be grand? I had a practitioner that used to use that, that language. Wouldn't that be grand? I think it would. So, you know, we are going through a change here in our community, our spiritual community. But looking out and seeing you all here, I know that we are strong and that we are moving through this with grace and ease. But, you know, we've heard it. The only constant is change. And it's been my experience, though, that most people don't like change. Surprise. And they'll fight it every step of the way. They're going to go, oh, I don't like change. We do not want adversity. We want a simple life, easygoing, consistent, laissez-faire. Let's just go on with my life and do it in this nice, simple manner. But oftentimes what happens when I'm faced personally with an adversity or a situation that arises, because they do, and a lot of times I have little or no control over some of these situations, as we do. What I like to do is just take a moment and leave my present view of the situation and look at how it will affect me if the worst case scenario were to happen. And when I do this, I often find that even though I may not like what the worst case scenario looks like, I can and will survive it. So about 11 years ago, I had to make a decision to release my home of 25 years. A change that I didn't expect, it just came up, as they sometimes do. And at the time, my thought was, this is the worst thing that can happen to my life. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to my family? And I thought, what happens if we move from our house, our big 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, 9,000 square foot lot, to an apartment? Where am I gonna put all my stuff? I'm not gonna have a garage. I'm not gonna have extra bedrooms. Where am I gonna put my stuff? And we all know how important our stuff is, right? I mean, comedian George Carlin even wrote a whole routine on it because it's that important. And I did consider giving it to you this morning, but it would have lengthened my talk quite a bit. So I'm just gonna allow you to look it up on YouTube because it is hilariously on point. So when you get an opportunity, if you'd like to look at that, you may. But I digress. In my view, in that moment, I had driven my motorhome to the campground, and I'd set up the shop. I was good to go, at least as far as my thinking was concerned. That was it. I'm staying in my motorhome, and I'm happy. But then I began to think, well, what's the worst that can happen as a result of this? And I left the comfort of my motorhome, and I began to take a walk in reality. And I realized that I was clinging to the memories of all that had occurred in this home. Raising our children, how I had painted and decorated each room. We did some remodeling, those types of things. But guess what? Regardless of where I was or where I ended up, those memories still went with me, right? And you guessed it, I did move to an apartment that didn't have a garage. And you know what? It caused me to release a lot of the stuff that I had been physically and mentally holding on to. My next thought was, but wait, I'm gonna lose my rose garden and my big backyard. And most of you know that I ended up living in Laguna Woods. So I was not without greenery and roses and paths and every place that I wanted to walk. Didn't matter, plant life was abundant. So clearly, I could go on with these analogies, but I think you get, where I'm coming from on this opportunity. I did survive the worst case scenario, and I was actually calmer, more free to do what I wanted to do in my life. was overall just more happy because I didn't have the stress of this big house and all that goes with it. As a matter of fact, I was like, where's my bills? I don't have a gardener. I don't have the trash man. I was like, where's all my bills? It was awesome. And it was just better than I could have ever dreamed or even thought about. And so it was in this midst of releasing my old house that I got rid of that opportunity. I got rid of that fear, and I embraced that change. Then, a little over a year ago, I changed my view again. And I moved to Baja California, otherwise known as Mexico. And you're not going to believe this. Stick with me. I released more stuff. Okay? Somehow, in my brilliance, I managed to build a house from the ground up with not a lick of storage space in it. Not a closet, no storage space. I don't know how I did it, but I did. But I had done that. And indeed, and also the other thing is the logistics of getting all this stuff across the border, so here's what I did. I went all Marie Kondo on my home. I held things and said, no, this does not bring me joy anymore. And I let go of more stuff. And I should mention now that my new view includes an ocean. So the name of our street that we live on, it translates to the beach at the foot of the hill. And I know I'm supposed to be on a mountain, but I think it's pretty close, so I'm happy with that. I think that I've upgraded my view just a bit. So let's look at another story or another example of changing our view of the world. And coincidentally, it does also involve a house. It's called The House with the Golden Windows. A little girl lived in a small but very simple poor house on a hill. And as she grew, she would play in her small garden. And as she grew taller, she was able to see over the garden fence and across the valley to a wonderful house high on the hill. And as this house had golden windows, so golden and shining that the little girl would dream of how magic it would be to grow up in a house such as this and to live there with the golden windows instead of the ordinary house like hers. And although she loved her parents and her family, she yearned to live in such a golden house. And she dreamed all day about how wonderful and exciting it would be to live there. So when she got old enough to a little bit age where she gained some skill and some sensibility, she begged and pleaded her mom to go outside the garden fence and ride her bike. And after some pleading, her mother finally allowed her to go, insisting, though, that she keep close to the house and didn't wander too far. And the day was beautiful, and the little girl set out on her bike, and she rode her bike until she got to the gate of the golden house, across over the hill. And as she dismounted her bike and leaned it against the gate post, she focused on the path that led up to the house, and then to the house itself, and was so disappointed that she realized that all the windows were plain and dirty, reflecting nothing other than sad neglect and derelict as it stood there. So sad she didn't get to go any further and turned, heartbroken, and she remounted her bike. And as she glanced up, she saw, to her amazement, there across the way on the other side of the valley was a little house, and its windows glistened golden as the sun shone on her very own little house. She realized that living in the golden home was something that she was doing all along, and all the love and the care that she found there was what made it the golden house. Everything she dreamed of was right there in front of her nose all along. So what's that old adage, you can't see the forest for the trees? Clearly, this is a good example of how our view of the world and how we shift in our consciousness, or we shift our view, in this case, our perspective, opens up this whole new world to us, new thoughts, new wonder. In the glossary of the Science of Mind text, Ernest Holmes states, consciousness, mental awareness, is a state of conscious awareness equipped with will, decision, and discrimination. Therefore, when we're dealing with situations that appear negative, it is in our best interest to make discriminating decisions, to be aware mentally, to be in the highest state of consciousness as we approach solutions. It's an invitation to experience constant cosmic consciousness, to align one's own consciousness and unify it with the whole. Just as instinct guides the animal, so too would intuition guide us if we would but allow it to do so. So when we seek to go to the top of the mountain and attain that higher consciousness, we're essentially then allowing the space for God to reveal itself in us, for our intuition then to guide us to the right and perfect answers. And this is what the mystics have known all along for ages, and that's why they don't labor under delusions. Illumination will come to us as we more and more realize our unity with the whole. The highest mental practice is to listen to our inner voice and declare its presence in our life. The greater one's consciousness of this indwelling I am, the more fully we will live. The great master declared, "The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works." So we would be wise then to adopt this as our own, so that we sense this life is not limited, but limitless. This past Wednesday, for those of you on the email list, Reverend Arlene had a nice little message about change, and she had attended her grandson's graduation, and the principal's message was, never let change chase you away. Instead, you chase change. And with her permission, I'm adding that in today. So imagine if instead of dreading change, we actually began to get out there and seek it, to accept it as an evolutionary process. Why not embrace it and accept it for what it is, and accept it with ease and grace? And then she ended her message with the following quote by G. Brian Benson. "Once I began to realize that there were no rules and that my path didn't have to look like everyone else's, I relaxed and my whole world opened up." So, in closing, I would like to invite you to stop and step out of your motorhome. Hop on your bike until the path is too narrow, and then walk into your greater consciousness of who you are. A living, breathing expression of the divine, able to view your world from on high and change that which no longer serves you. Remember, it's okay to travel through the town of self-pity every now and then. But, and I cannot express this enough, do not pitch your tent there. Namaste. And here comes Tom. Woohoo!
Thank you so much, Reverend Allison. That is an amazing talk. Yes, please. Yes, let's not pitch a tent there. That's a good idea. And if you do build a home there, make sure it has storage. That's the other part of that message I heard. I'm just kidding on that. Gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right. As I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. See the kids in the street without enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top, and a one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they got no place to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself, then make a change. Na 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 na. I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize that there's some with no homes, not a nickel to loan. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? A willow deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart, and a washed out dream. They follow the pattern on the wind, you see, 'cause they got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, better look at yourself and make a change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his way. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, better look at yourself and make that change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change. You got to get it right while you have the time, 'cause when you close your heart, then you close your mind. The man in the mirror and change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Na 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 na. Make that change. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, music team, and Reverend Allison. Great, great message. Great message. And Stephanie, thank you, as always. Everybody's done such a great job today. It's just really awesome. Unity has 5 basic principles that we believe in, and they are: 1, God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. 2, I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. 3, I create my experiences, but what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. And 4, through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. And 5, I do and give my best by living the truth that I know. I make a difference. And here at Unity of Orange County, you can make a difference by donating to our ministry so that we can keep our doors open. It's really, you know what, I was thinking about this the other day. We have a way of feeding our souls. I will pay $40 to see a concert. I will pay $40 to go to an event, and I don't think twice about it. And so what about, because you know why? Because it feeds my soul. I feel so good after I'm done attending these events, a play. Bill is involved in a play. I will pay $40 to go for that. I don't blink an eye. I really don't, because I leave feeling great. How do you feel when you leave church? Absolutely. And so I don't think twice about donating to my church because it feeds my soul. So I hope you feel the same way. And so we have several ways here at Unity of Orange County that you can make a difference. And so when the basket comes through, You could donate, put in a donation in the basket. You can pay by credit card, or you could write a check, or you could go to our website and you can make a donation through our website. Either way, I hope that it pleases you every time you do that. That's what's the good thing, is pleasing. So let us put our hands together and bless our offerings. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And if the trustees would like to bring the baskets up. And this is the time of the service that we'd like to welcome anyone here for the first time. Is there anybody here for the first time? First timers? We're not going to really capture you, make you stay here or whatever. We just want to bless you. Really. We're going to take you up to the mountain with us. You know, really, we're really going to make it an exciting adventure. So if you just raise your hand so that we could give you a blessing. Nobody? We're going to just bless ourselves. So everyone, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. Wonderful. I don't know why we're having a little difficulty with the baskets today. It's all good. It doesn't matter. If we missed you, raise your hand so that we can, and just bless the basket as it goes by. We appreciate that. So thank you again, all of our volunteers today. Thank you so much, Reverend Allison, for a wonderful message. Stephanie's going to be giving us a thingy. Message.
After we finish our very last song and Bill is finished, I'm pulling 50-50. So somebody's going to win $115. Just letting you know.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Stephanie.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. We are grateful. All righty. So let's sing This Little Light of Mine.
Here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, oh let it shine. And please join hands and get together as we sing together our peace song and then our prayer for protection. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God, and the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. All together, wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yay, God.